this up right there. I'm gonna put this on here. Let's see. Let me pull this up on here real quick. Let's see. Okay, cool. Okay, there we go. I think, yeah, let me see. I don't know, I always pull it up crazy. Okay, there we go. What's going on? What's happening? How you doing? I know I'm early today. Super duper early. I'm kind of like, I've been popping in sporadically just to see like who would be coming in at what different times of the day. You feel me? So I'm hoping like if I do it earlier, I want to see like who's coming through, and if I do it later, I want to see who else is coming through. What up, Logical Mermaid? How you doing? What's going on with you? How you living? How you feel? So wait, I kind of have to ask a question because I want to kind of know. When I go live, does it have like a little, like, do you have like a notification that tells you that I go live? Like, how do y'all know? Because I honestly, I don't, unless I'm like scrolling on YouTube, I don't see when people be going live. It's so weird. Like, and I barely see people's like community tabs and stuff like that. Doing well here to support. Thank you. No, I appreciate the support. Yeah, I was wondering because I'm like, how do people know that I'm like, or how would people know that I'm going live? And I feel like I should maybe put that on the Substack real quick. Let me send a little message out real quick, you know. You know what I mean? What's good, everybody? How y'all doing? I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing great. You know what I mean? I know I'm on early, like I was saying, to Logical Mermaid, you know, early today, but I kind of wanted to see who was coming on like early. Is my titties showing? It is showing. Hold on, don't look at my titties now. In my subscription, it had a red highlight around your name and face. Oh, okay. Got you. I don't know. YouTube has changed so much, you know, over time that the stuff that I used to see on YouTube, I do not see anymore. Like, it's crazy. It's so crazy. So yeah, today we're gonna be today I'm open to do live readings, but of course, you know, yap sessions as well. Also too, you know, before I do start yapping, because y'all's questions yesterday, I love the questions that y'all were asking yesterday, and I had some time to sit and think on some things as well too. But if you have any questions in particular about astrology in any given shape, form, whatever the case may be, definitely put it down in the chat, and I will try to answer to the best of my ability. You said you're good, your neck frame is up. Okay, cool. I be feeling like, let me pull it up just a little bit, because you know what I'm saying, things are slipping out a little bit, you feel me? But yeah, before I go, okay, let me put that on here. The link is in the description box for live readings. But I did want to talk about a little bit more about empty houses in astrology. And I did tell myself too, oh, I don't know who that is. I did tell myself too, yes, my specialty is evolutionary astrology. I love evolutionary astrology because, I mean, the basis of astrology in itself, I know we kind of go through like transits and, you know, you could talk about like what's actually happening in the present moment. But evolutionary astrology to me is like understanding what was happening in the past, and how that correlates with the future. Like what we're even seeing now, you know, I talked a little bit about Neptune and Pisces. I was talking or Neptune and Aries, and talking a little bit about Saturn and Pisces. Same, different time, but same energy, right? You know what I mean? Like what we're seeing. And that's an example of evolutionary astrology. Like I know that when Saturn went into Aries, you know, back in the 1930s, what was happening during that time was the Great Depression. And then now we're seeing another Saturn and Aries transit where now we have all this talk about the recession and the Great Depression and all that kind of stuff. Now, I do want to say this because I hear a lot of people talking about 2008, and that recession during that time. And honestly, let me see what was happening in the transits during the recession of 2020 or 2008. Let me see. Of 2000. Yeah, 2008. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was in high school during that recession, and or during that time period, and I just remember my mom freaking out because our house at that time got foreclosed and we had to move. So, yeah, that's what I remember, and it was less. I think we had like less than a month to leave, and like. I remember like packing. But the music was insane during this time. Let me see. When was that? Was that the whole 2008 during the recession? I'm about to pull this up real quick. Cause I don't think it was I don't think it was Saturn and Aries dates. I'm interested, I'm curious to kind of know what was happening during this time. But I don't know, I just feel like, okay, December 2007 to June 2009. Okay. Dang, was it 2007 too? I guess so, I guess it was during that time. But I don't know the transits for that specifically, but I do know that what we're talking about now directly correlates with, the last Saturn and Aries transit. And I just find that to be interesting. Let me see. Free event chart calculator. Let's see. You know what? Let me see what Saturn was in. All I gotta do is see where Saturn was at. And that'll tell me a lot about what's going on. Because anything Saturn touches, it restricts. Let me see. Saturn transits chart. Let me see. Saturn usually takes about about a year and a half to go through each sign. So, Was it in Virgo? That's crazy. I'm gonna start at December 2007. I'm gonna start in December 2007 and see what. Let me see. Astrology of 2007. Astrology of. It was the ingress of Pluto. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. Wait a minute. Was it Pluto in Capricorn during that time? Or I thought that was 20. No, it was. I keep thinking of Neptune in Pisces, because Neptune in Pisces was like 2011. So shoot, before we had that was Neptune in Aquarius. So we had Neptune in Aquarius during that time. Pluto was making its ingress in Capricorn during that time, which would make sense. It would make a whole lot of sense, actually. It was an ingress of Capricorn 2007 retrograde, and then direct in 2008. I think we started to see like the I guess fall of it, or the heaviness of it in 2008. Like, it started in 2007, but Mayan calendar and all of that. Yeah, what about wait, what about the Mayan calendar? Yeah, let me see. The astrology of recession. Let me see. Okay, let me see. Yep, I see. And it says Jupiter opposition. Wait, suggests that Saturn and Jupiter opposition. Wait, was Jupiter in Cancer during this time? Hold up. Wait a minute. I just said the astrology of the recession in 2008. Remember, it was the end of the world in 2012 so many times. It was. Everybody thought the world was going to end. I remember everybody was like standing outside to like, okay, this is it, y'all. Like, this is the final countdown. I was like, wait, whoa. Let me see. Yeah, Pluto to me. Okay, Jupiter was in Pisces. Okay, the economic when the transit Jupiter. No, Jupiter was not in Pisces during that time. Jupiter was in Aquarius during that time. Yeah, I think it was the one before. Yeah. Okay, so Saturn makes up, what they're saying is Saturn basically makes up for a lot of what was happening during the economic downturn in 2008. Yeah, I know. Jupiter, it's saying Jupiter was in Pisces during 2010, so I'm counting back. Oh, wait. I think I missed 2009. Yeah, I missed 2009. So no, it wasn't Jupiter in Aquarius. It was probably Jupiter in Sagittarius is what was happening. Yeah, I'm curious because I haven't looked into what was happening in 2008 astrology during that, economic downturn is what they called it. But I definitely have been looking hard into Saturn and Aries for the Great Depression for sure. Let me see too. Can you play an instrument? I can play an instrument actually. I'm a beginner at the guitar. I don't have a guitar on me, but why you ask? You think I'm an artist? Let me see. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I'll look at the transits off because I don't want to put where I was at. I'm like, I need the whole thing. Hold on, let me see. Yeah. Honestly, I think because let me see. When did that enter? I'm trying to think. Uranus, I think that was about 8 years ago. And before Uranus was in Taurus, that was, let me see. You said, what do you believe in? What do I believe in? I believe in me. What you mean? Let me see. Uranus transits. Like, I can't say I'm religious at all. Honestly, I believe that religion is what you do every day, and I couldn't say I had a set, religious practice, if you will. My religion is myself. Worship myself. Okay, let me see. Okay, dates. Are you in a hot country? I could be. What is you, the feds? Wait, who is you, Alex? I mean, dang, is you the feds asking me all these questions? Dang. Are you in a hot country, Alex? Okay. I just pulled up the stuff for Uranus. You said you wish you was in Spain. I have no desire to visit Spain. Now, if somebody fly me out to Spain, I'll go to Spain, but I have no desire to. Really, I don't have any desire to go to Europe, really, honestly. I'm a fellow astrologer, by the way. Followed you from the Astro relocation viz. Oh, word. You talking about the astrophotography series? That is funny because a lot of people found me from like my videos way back in the day. So I don't usually hear people talk about like the videos that I've made like as of recent, you know what I mean? Let me see, Uranus and Aries. Dang, was Uranus and Aries during that time? It was. Okay, so, no. Uranus started all this government-ish in 2009. Yeah, I'm looking for the 2008 transit. That must have been before, because that is about 8-year transit. God, I don't even want to think, like, dang, that was so long ago. That's crazy when you think about it. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy to think that, like, all these years have passed by. You know what I mean? Let me see. No. Am I tripping? Okay, Uranus and Aries. You say 2011 to 2018, 2010. Oh, that was just retro. Let me see. Here, hold on, where? Yeah, I see it. What do you study, logical mermaid? Like what house system do you do, like Placidus? I mean, not Placidus, not the house system. Do you study Vedic astrology? Do you study tropical astrology? Okay, it definitely was in Aquarius during this time. Yeah, that's actually interesting when I think about it, like all the changes and stuff. He said ancestral healing and astral relocation. Okay, that's what's up. What do you use for like ancestral healing per se in astrology? Like, or what are you looking at, I would say, for ancestral healing? Usually, I'm big on focusing on the 8th, the moon. You said fertility as a specialty with my doula practice. Oh, snap. You a doula too? That's what's up. I'm happy to see doulas coming back. Doulas and midwives coming back. You know, I've been telling people all the time, honestly and truly, the pharmaceutical companies is trash. You know what I mean? You said I work with people who don't have a birth time or story. Oh, that's really interesting. I noticed what we call like a recall, like recalling people's to people's rising sign. It's like a series of questions and things that you can ask people throughout their life, of their experiences, to really gauge where their rising sign possibly could have been. I've done it like once or twice. What do you think about fur coats? Would you wear them? Oh yeah, I love fur coats. You gonna buy me one? You gonna make me one? What you talking about? What you talking about, Alex? I do like fur coats. I like furs. I like feathers. I love all those very regal, royal things. Okay, yeah. That's what's up. Okay, let me get my head out of here. Some people have views on them. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Alex. Not sure what you're talking about. Okay, enough of 2008. I'm gonna have to, when I get offline and look into it, then I can like go more into like the chart in itself, because I'll be like sucked in over here trying to look at it and things. But I think who's this? Oh, I think what I wanted to say more so was like, what was I talking about before? Oh, because you asked me about evolutionary astrology. So for me, evolutionary astrology, you know, when we're talking about like the past, we're talking about things that happened previously, you know, in earlier transitions and things like that. People say don't wear them, and some people say wear them. Oh, I don't listen to what other people tell me what to wear, okay? I wear what I want to wear, all right? But anyway, and now I just lost my train of thought. Evolutionary astrology. So for me, I think my biggest thing, or I would say that I especially gravitate to, is like past lives. So I like to look at the 12th house. I love to look at the 4th house. Really the angular houses, but specifically the 12th house and the 4th house is really big for me. Anything that has to do with the moon, the IC. I like to look, also, I like, you know, Saturn is also another place that you can really look into when we're talking about like just stuff that's kind of accrued, okay, over time from like ancestral things that have been passed down as well. Also too, I don't fully look into it, but another thing is I look is like Jupiter, like parts of Jupiter, because I've noticed, especially like when it comes to like familial charts, you will notice that there are certain patterns, especially when it comes to like familial patterns, that literally have the same Jupiter sign. Like I've seen somebody's like family chart that will have like the same Jupiter, you know what I mean? So you said 6 planet stellium, 12th house with a Pisces moon, UCY, and oh yeah, definitely. Wait, is Pisces in your 12th house too? Oh, so you a mermaid for real, for real. Yeah, you a mermaid for real, for real, for real, for real. That's what's up. Yeah. Living by the water, being by the water, journeys in the water, you know what I'm saying? Journeys underwater, you know what I mean? No opposition in Virgo. From your 12th house? What are you, an Aries rising? Or you wait a minute. Wait, yeah, you would be an Aries rising if you're Pisces in at 12. You have planets in the 6th house. Man, I have to take that off too. But anyway, yeah. So another thing that empty houses. That's what I wanted to say, because I was forgetting. I'm like, what was I trying to talk about? So empty houses in a chart. Let's say that you don't have nothing sitting in it. You know, Taylor was asking me about this yesterday. You have nothing sitting in a particular place in house. And we talked a little bit about how, depending on what is hitting that particular part of your chart. So for example, if you have something in opposition to that chart, you have planets in opposition to that part of your chart. Or for example, if you have, you know, whatever placements that are hitting that chart directly. Also, I just want to say this, because sometimes when we are looking at our tropical chart, it might not necessarily show the full thing. So I would really recommend that if you are going to look into your chart, look at other systems, right? So for example, look into your Vedic chart, you know, and look into other forms, because there might be there could be energy that maybe that you're not necessarily expressing in one chart, but then you look at, you know, another chart and you're like, wait, oh, okay, I can see where that particular energy came from. Or I know what, I express myself in this way according to this chart versus this chart. You know what I'm saying? So like, don't limit yourself as well too. But I also believe too, just it does stand when we talk about like these charts necessarily don't have a centralized focus, right? Like there might not be, the energy might not necessarily be there because maybe that's not what spirit, or that's not what you, especially if you don't have any personal planets or anything hitting that particular area of your chart. It might not necessarily be a central focus. It necessarily doesn't mean it's not activated, because anytime we have some type of transit that is flowing through that particular area or might be hitting that area of your chart, it will be activated. So for example, I'm trying to think of somebody's chart right now. So let's say you have Taurus in the 4th house, all right? And maybe, I don't know, you have Saturn and Taurus in the 4th house. If you look in 2 spaces after that, you go from Taurus, Gemini being in the 5th house, Cancer being in the 6th house. And you don't have no energy. You don't have no planets or anything like that in the 4th house. But somehow that Taurus energy is going to be connected to that Cancerian house. Why? Because eventually, or in some way, somehow it will form a trine. Which trines usually means like 2 people are like working. They get along very well. You know what I'm saying? Now when Saturn is making this, for example, trine to the Cancerian energy in that 6th house, what does Saturn mean in the 4th house in Taurus? Oh, a lot of times Taurus by itself has to do with resources. It has to do with like your value. It has to do with foundation. You know, it has to do with, you know, this could be material value, and this can also be, if it's not material value, this can also be just, you know, how you feel about yourself, how you think about yourself, you know, how you view yourself, how you see yourself, how you speak, how you communicate, and things like that. Now, when I look at, for example, if you have an empty 6th house with Cancer sitting there and you have this trine going into the 4th house, a lot of times you can see, especially with Saturn here, because whatever Saturn touches, usually sometimes it will restrict. You can see somebody here who maybe has a hard time when it comes to their physical resources. You know, maybe, especially maybe they view, or this is where you can see somebody maybe, especially when it comes to like your home, your family life and things like that. Sometimes you can see somebody who's like extremely over the board, hardworking, you know, or like hardworking in an overdrive, but barely putting, you know, food on the table, or barely being able to like support, you know, or have the necessary resources to support themselves or their family. You could just see, this is definitely like a hard not life. This kid, Saturn in Taurus in the 4th house can definitely be like a hard not life. Your value can even be shot with Saturn in Taurus here. But it definitely makes like somebody who works extremely hard, because Taurus is usually like focused and usually like very focused in whatever it is that they're doing. This could be somebody who, I honestly can even see, because, you know, Taurus has to do with the foundation of something as well too. This can be like physical, like it's physical earth, it's grounded, solid earth. So this can be like a home even. So this could be somebody who's maybe, for example, built their home from scratch, you know, or maybe has lived in like an ancestral home for years. Maybe that home was like passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation. You can also see somebody, especially with Saturn Taurus in the 4th house, where maybe they make like great gardeners, you know what I'm saying? Or they have like an extreme green thumb, for example. Now, when this energy is kind of like looking over to this 6th house of Cancer with nothing in it, 6th house having to do with like the things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. You know, this has to do with you know, your health, your wellness, your physical routines. What was you about to say, logical? What's good? You know, your physical routines, health, wellness, the work that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And with Cancer here, a lot of times this has to do with like how you're caring for yourself in the 6th house. How are you nurturing yourself on a day-to-day basis? You know, are you more focused on like get into that Taurus bag, right? Or are you more focused on like how you are being able to care for yourself? And I guess finding like a healthy balance between like too much or overdoing it in work and nurturing yourself. Sixth house also has to do with children. It also has to do with the mother. So you can see like maybe an empty sixth house with somebody who with this Taurus energy kind of like in conversation with this house. Maybe this is somebody who can be like a single parent, you know, or a single mother, you know, or somebody who takes care of kids or teaches kids, even, if you will, you know. This could be somebody even who, you know, I would even say, because Taurus has to do with the throat, you know, the throat chakra. It also has to do with Saturn. Anywhere Saturn is, it usually takes like a minute for those things to like come into fruition. So like usually comes with age. So for example, maybe you have children at an older age. This can also, you could see adoptions as well too. Saturnian energy usually has to do with the father figure, versus moon usually has to do with the mother. Venus also has to do with women. So you could also see this as well of like, you know, maybe somebody has had to take some type of responsibility, you know, because Saturn is responsible. It's the responsibilities or the duties that you take up or duties that you intake for whatever reason, you know, whether you've had like, it was just you and you had to kind of take care of everybody in the family, whether this is like, you know, maybe your families or relatives are older or elder, you know, and you have to kind of take care of the rest of the kids and stuff like that. Like yeah, I've seen one or two charts with Saturn in Taurus, and I say bless. I mean, it's not like Saturn in Capricorn, but it definitely still gives that energy and esque of like, you know, it can teed the line of like either overdoing it or usually like just a lack of resources or just like a lack of value or self-esteem is another one that comes in here. Just not, there's an overarching feeling of feeling like you just don't have enough with Saturn and Taurus. And it started, you know, from the fourth house, which is like your roots, family, home, things like that you can see here. So that's like a little example. And I know Taylor's not here, and I know we kind of talked about it yesterday, but I kind of wanted to kind of clear that up. Like, it's still going to be activated, even if there are no, you know, planets or anything like that in that particular house. It's still going to be affected in some way. So yeah, that's what I was thinking of, like, you know, with Saturn here, or Saturn anywhere, or just like an empty house and how it can interact with your entire chart. I have three different places in my chart that have no planets at all. So when I looked at it at first, I'm like, what? I don't have no energy here. I don't have no energy there. Like, that's empty. I'm like, I wonder why that's empty, like whatever. But another thing that you can also check out too, and I know that, you know, some of the time, like, people don't necessarily go into these things, but you can also check into the asteroids. One asteroid that I've really super been into as of late is this asteroid called Eros. Eros is like you know, honestly, to me, it does give trickster energy, but Eros is more like a creative, sexual kind of energy. I like to look at it more so as like a performer or somebody that does like some type of performing arts, but it's very, very creative, and it uses sexual energy to create, you know what I mean? Yes, Pallas and Athene. I'm trying to think of where Pallas. I think Pallas is it in Capricorn for me? I don't know. I think it might be in Cap. I'm not really sure. Ceres is another one that you can look into as well too. And just seeing where those places is. Also another one too that I think people miss out a lot on like the chart, or like looking into the chart. Look into whatever your part of fortune is. Where is your part of fortune? You know what? I'm about to do a series on part of fortune because it's honestly really good information to know. I know it's not necessarily a planet per se, but it's where the lines meet in the middle, okay? And it can tell you a lot about, like, it's kind of like the energy that really makes you happy. You said, hey, I made it to Detroit. Good to see you. I got to check your videos from the past couple weeks. What's good? What's going on, boo? I'm glad you made it to Detroit. Ren. I'll have to look in. What's good, Ren? Yes, definitely. Please do. I'm probably going to be going back to the basics. I have not touched Neptune and Aries at all, like, since I've been waiting for like this Mercury retrograde to like funnel out. Now that we're like coming out of shadow period, I feel like I'm finally opening my eyes. It can only be in certain houses so I don't get duped. People mistake it though. Oh, you talking about a palace and a theme? What are you talking about part of fortune being in certain houses? And also too, Ren, how you liking Detroit? How's Detroit treating you? My part of fortune is in Aries, you know what I mean? And one thing, for example, I've noticed with part of fortune in Aries, it's in my second house. Second house has to do with like your values. It's the Taurus house of like values, personal gains, finances. It's also the things that you're like consuming as well here, you know, on a day-to-day basis. Whether that's food, whether that's like media, whatever it is that you're kind of taking in. And I've noticed anytime, like lots of fortune, yes. Anytime, for example, having a part of fortune in Aries in this particular placement, anytime I take initiative to do something, it's the best move. Everything is matching up. Low-key overwhelming, but feels so good though. The healing has started. I'm happy to hear that for you, Ren. I'm so happy to hear that for you. D-Town, what's up? You know what I mean? I love that for you. Have you seen your astrocartography chart? Does it match up with like your or do you have any lines going through Detroit per se? But yeah, no, anytime for example, with part of fortune, anytime I've taken initiative, you know, to like do things or make things happen, anytime, that's always when things come straight up. I'm gonna email you. Definitely, please do. Please do. Oh, also too, I'm doing, I'm right now just yapping, but if you would like to, I'm doing donation-based readings. The link is down below. What is that? The link is down below for those of y'all that's here, those of y'all that is coming in. But yes, part of fortune, anytime I've taken initiative to do something, anytime I've like stood firm and like my boundaries and really was like serious about the things that I want, and I'm like, no, this is what I want to do, this is how I want to do it. Any single time I've done that, everything always like, it's like I got you right where I want you. I got you right where I want you. You know what I mean? Like it always funnels for me. And when I say funnels, I mean it always works out for me when I'm in that energy. It's not to say that I can't be like passive. And when I say passive, I mean like allowing things to come to me. But Aries is about initially putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? Like you basically put your best foot forward with this energy in Aries. And then whatever comes from that funnels into other things. You know what I mean? Aries is not like a, let me sit back and wait and just see what happens. You know what I mean? Aries is like, I'm just gonna see what happens here. You know, think first, ask questions later. Do first, ask questions later. That's the energy of Aries. So anytime I've done the think first or do first, ask questions later, it always funnels right where I want it to be, you know. And then I'll look up and be like, oh snap, like, wow, no, this is actually happening. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I love it though. I love it. Yeah, let me see. Okay. Yeah, and another one, I just recently did a reading. Shout out to Ashley. She just left me a really beautiful review. I was not expecting that at all. I woke up to that this morning from the reading. And we were talking about on the reading that we had was Lilith. And I know in the recent lives that I've done, I've been talking about like Black Moon Lilith And, you know, Scorpio, you know, Lilith and Scorpio going through its transit until December. But I think initially sometimes when people hear Lilith, you know, we've heard a lot about like this dark feminine energy or dark divine energy and things like that. And I think sometimes when, not necessarily her, when I was talking to her about it, but just like talking to people about Lilith, sometimes people are a little bit scared of Lilith. Some people are a little bit like scared of the girl. And I'm like, I think because sometimes Black Moon Lilith can feel so uncomfortable. I want y'all to look into Black Moon Lilith in y'all's chart. Like, where is Black Moon Lilith in your chart? What house is it touching? What is it aspecting and things like that? And tell me, let me know how you feel about your Black Moon Lilith by chance. Like, what comes to mind when you look at your Black Moon Lilith? What comes to mind when you, like, do you feel like you resonate with it? Do you feel like you're uncomfortable with it? Because I've noticed a lot of people, and I mean, Lilith, I guess, does have to do with that uncomfortability. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to like how you resonate and just all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. You tell me how you feel about Black Moon Lilith in your chart. It can be uncomfortable, I feel like, at first, but when you really truly start to grasp it, that's when you see like the other side. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, okay, I'm trying to think. Black Moon Lilith in, hold on, let me see. What did it say? Black Moon Lilith. Okay, yeah, for example, at the time I seen Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius. Or Lilith in Sagittarius, I should say. You know, naturally Sagittarius wants to be free. It wants to be able to express itself, right? It wants to be able to, you know, say how it feels. It wants to be able to teach and go on these different experiences. What I noticed on the opposite end of that, Lilith, is there is this deep seed, especially when it comes to like your intelligence or the things that you know. A lot of times with Black Moon Lilith, initially, you'll find somebody who questions that. Like, they question what they know. They question their logical mind. They question their insight. You know, they're like, I don't really know if I know this. I'm not really sure if I know these things, or if what I'm saying is true. Sometimes you'll even see like a Black Moon Lilith or a Lilith in Sagittarius get like really confused. It's not that they don't know, but they don't trust that they know what they know, right? Aquarius, Sagittarius just knows, right? It's like, I know, sometimes I don't even need a book to know, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, my AC and North Node went straight through Detroit in Sag. Of course you do. Yo, that's crazy. Yo, we're not on the same line with Sagittarius AC. I'm on my North Node Sagittarius Midhaven line in Sagittarius. It is a different kind of energy, honestly and truly. It's a completely different types of energy. Isn't it in North Node? Straight through, he said, straight through Sagittarius. Okay, so basically you in a comfort zone place, like getting out of your comfort zone area. What made you move again, Ren? Like, what made you choose Detroit? I know it's a huge creative scene out in Detroit, especially music-wise. Detroit is crazy as far as like musicians and artists and stuff like that. I believe there might be even a renaissance going on in Detroit during this time. I know we're hearing like Great Depression and all that kind of stuff, crazy stuff, but whatever. Yep, work, family, relationship, breakup. Got you. So new, fresh energy coming in. Most definitely. I like that. Okay, cool. Dang, I didn't even see this on here. But yeah, so Black Moon Lilith will make one feel like, Black Moon Lilith and Sagittarius, I should say, will make one feel like maybe they are questioning those things. Maybe they're questioning the knowledge and even their experiences as well too. Their belief system as well. A lot of times I'll see people who maybe have been what we like to call indoctrinated with the North Node in Sagittarius. Sometimes the belief system, to step outside of the belief system that maybe that you were taught, can feel so uncomfortable with Black Moon Lilith and Sagittarius. I've seen it. You know, like I said, this could be somebody who is extremely religious, or grew up in an extremely religious, you know, household or background or whatever the case may be. And now they're having to kind of figure out for themselves what it is that they actually do believe in. And like when they get to like questioning the things that they grew up in, there's like I don't know why I want to say a cognitive dissonance. I don't know if it is cognitive dissonance, but it feels like a vast like separation between like, okay, I've always been taught this and I've always known this to be true, but now I don't necessarily know if I resonate with this, and now I have to find out what I feel and believe and what I think for myself on my own. And that can make a Lilith, Black Moon Lilith and Sagittarius feel so uncomfortable. They can feel so uncomfortable with that, you know. I honestly like to look at it as like more so somebody who can be extremely fixed to being in this mutable fire that's like, I don't know, I kind of believe this, but then I kind of believe this too. But I, you know, think about this and I kind of believe this too, you know? Yeah, that can happen there. I think the most Black Moon Liliths that I actually really seen, especially in readings, or Lilith in, is Gemini. And honestly, I've kind of charged it to the game. And what I mean by that is like, we live in such a world that I feel like has really suppressed our voice, or, you know, goes out of its way to try to suppress our voice and try to suppress our expression. Gemini is about communication, right? It's all forms of communication. You know, it's talking, it's speaking, it's laughing, it's, you know, cooking, it's whatever you want to call it, right? And then like Black Moon Lilith comes there and it's like, oh, you know, like I'm trying to talk, or I'm trying to speak, but for some reason, like, the words aren't coming out, you know, or, you know, people who are like, again, you know, with Sagittarius on the opposite end of that, or the sister or brother sign or whatever you want to call it, is like, I'm questioning my intelligence. I'm questioning what I know. For some reason, I feel like I'm stumbling on my words even with this Black Moon Lilith energy. I don't know. Y'all tell me, what do y'all feel with, what's your Black Moon Lilith? What sign is it in? What house is it in? And how do you feel like you resonate with your Black Moon Lilith sign? And if you're looking like, well, what's a Black Moon Lilith? If you look up and pull up your chart, you can use a free birth chart calculator. I usually use Astro. What up, Ta? How you doing, Ta? I'm a little early today. I'm a little early today. I wanted to see who would be on if I came earlier in the day. How you doing, boo? We're talking about Black Moon Lilith energy. So if you don't know what your Black Moon Lilith is, you could pull it up. It looks like a little moon crescent, like a little half moon crescent, and then it has like a cross at the end of it, or at the bottom of it, if you're looking to see what it is in. So y'all tell me, where is Black Moon Lilith for you? What house is it in? And how do you feel like, knowing what you know about it, and if you don't know about it, let me know and I can tell you a little bit about it. How do you feel? Do you feel like you resonate with your Black Moon Lilith? Or do you feel like it seems a little bit more foreign to you? Inquiring minds would love to know. Please, put it in the chat for me, please, if you feel so inclined. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's what I have for Black Moon Lilith. I don't know. I've just been on this like tangent, especially because, like I said, we going through this deep Pluto Scorpio, or this Scorpio energy. We're about to be triggered for the Pluto Scorpio generation. I'm gonna tell you this right now. We are about to be triggered unlike no other for this past year. What do you think about Lilith conjunction and Moon in Capricorn? What do I think about it? I mean, Moon in Capricorn is already rough, you know. Well, when I think about Capricorn in itself in the moon, you know, this could definitely be somebody who's very ambitious, very hardworking, sometimes a little bit in overdrive, too much in overdrive, especially when it comes to work. He said, not mine, but a family member, and man, oh man. Yeah, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, like, you know, moon has to do with secrets, you know. We talk about our emotions and things like that, but the moon is hidden. So it's things that you hide away from the world. And usually people who know you closely know this energy very well. And with Lilith here kind of being like the dark side of things, or the dark side of the moon, if you will. I don't know why I'm hearing like not as, I don't know why, I don't even think that's what it's called, but I'm hearing Seda Kiss or whatever. It's like Jada Kiss. I can't. Not as like somebody who like enjoys like pain, or like, and when I say that I mean like, you know, maybe somebody who's like low-key interested in like BDSM or something like that, or somebody who's interested in like domination and control, you know, like they want to dominate, you know, somebody through their emotional state, you know, like I don't know why, that's the first thing that's coming to mind right now. They can even be kind of like overpowering or overbearing, you know, especially when it comes to like their power versus other people's power. It can kind of come off as, I don't know why I'm hearing like a micromanager, you know, somebody who's like, you know, constantly like checking over somebody, or like checking over the shoulder of somebody to making sure they're doing it right, you know. I would even say, because this is lineage too, like Black Moon Lilith is like a lineage, or your moon sign has to do with like the women in your family. This has to do with children. This has to do with like past lives and things like that. So I don't, this to me, especially when it comes to emotions, it can feel like you're trying to pry through wood. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to pry something open. You know what I'm saying? With a crowbar, and you just can't quite get in, right? Because naturally the moon is in its flow state in Cancer, right? It naturally flows in Cancer. So Capricorn is the opposite energy of Cancer, whereas Cancer wants to be nurturing, you know, it wants to be loving, it's very homey, it makes you feel safe, it makes you feel comfortable. Capricorn on the other side of that could feel a little bit, you know, it might be a little bit more logical with the emotions. You know, it might be a little bit more like, I can't feel because I got to get these things done. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to lock in and get, you know, this and this, or do this and this and that. I don't have time to feel, you know, I don't have time for the emotions right now. Like, so it can really cause like, I'm hearing the bones, because Capricorn has to do with the bones. It has to do with like your exoskeleton structure. Well, really Aquarius, but also Capricorn is the one that's supporting that. So there could even be like physical elements with someone happening here. My Lilith is 29 degrees and Leo 6th house, so I definitely feel that. Most definitely here. Like, and that's, we talked about that, Todd. That was a heart, definitely like a heart feeling, the sickness, like things that can like transpire in your body when you're not expressing those things. And Lilith is it talks a lot about suppression, you know? It talks about like the things that you try to hide, or the things that you try to suppress due to whatever external factors are going on around you, you know? And it can be tough, you know? And I feel like with Capricorn here, especially with the moon conjunct here, yes, and shame, you know, I feel like it can maybe even bury itself into this duty, or having like this sense of responsibility to either itself or other people, that to the point where you could just see somebody who gets extremely burnt out, you know what I mean? Definitely, most definitely. Very, very powerful. It's the last. The 0 degree and the 29 degrees are very powerful. Honestly, that degree as well, the 29th degree, can be a bit chaotic as well too. Because it's the ending. It's like the end, right? Like the closing before you get to the next sign or the next chapter as well. So, that can also be here. But, and also too for Taurus, the 6th house is the health and wellness. So, but just in general, with Capricorn conjunct that moon, yeah, I think it can be very much so a strong, and it's Saturnian rule too with Capricorn energy. So suppression is a very, very real thing in the emotional state. I feel like the mother, if we're talking about like in terms of like the relationship that they had to the mother, or the relationship to the mother, can feel like transactional even. With Capricorn here, Capricorn is about like the numbers. It's like it's really about like the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? So there could have been like a very either transactional relationship with the mother, or just like I have too many responsibilities going on to be like really worried about like what you got going on. Even if those things weren't necessarily explicitly said, this can just be like that connection just was not fully involved, if you will. Too much responsibility, trying to make things work, because Capricorn is usually very structured and sturdy. But I feel like with Black Moon Lilith, it could feel like somebody who is like lacking with structure or having like an internal foundation. And I know Capricorn is cardinal, energy. I know it's like a cardinal, kind of goes back and forth. It's not necessarily like super duper solid like Taurus energy, but it's earth, and Capricorn craves having that specific stability. So with Black Moon Lilith here, it can just feel like you're just reaching or trying to reach for something that's just inherently just maybe just not there. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel for people who have Capricorn moons, man. And I say this on my lives for those of y'all that's been here, but like I feel for Scorpio moons and I feel for Capricorn moons. It's really not an easy placement to have, especially when it comes to like your emotional state. A lot of times these things can feel fleeting, even though they're actually there. Like, you wanting to express, but you feel suppressed. Like you're wanting to say what it is that you have to say, but it's just like so buried beneath the chest, So yeah, I definitely feel for y'all. I feel for that on a soul level, actually. So yeah. So yeah. But I don't know. I let me know how y'all feel. How do you feel about it? Who asked me that? I want to see who asked me. Oh, Logical Mind, what do you feel about it? Oh, you did say not mine, but a family member of mine, a man on man. Yeah, what you feel about it? It's your family. Lilith conjunct Moon in Capricorn. I don't know why I'm also hearing like devious or deviant is what I'm hearing. Yeah, I don't know why I'm hearing that, but nah. Yeah, let me see. No. Okay. Oh, let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Everything you said about the Cancer part, because that's the rising. Ooh, okay. So this is in relationships. That's in that 7th house. Ooh wee. You said what time zone am I in? I don't know, because where I'm at don't change the time zones. So I think it's CT time. It's almost 5 o'clock where I'm at right now. You said your intuition spoke to me. I'm over here like, yep, yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. In the 7th house, honestly. And you know, 7th house, I know a lot of times, or Venus, oftentimes we like attract that to us, you know what I mean? But it definitely has to do with us, because 7th house is more so like a mirror, but it has to do with other people as well too. It's odd sometimes reading people you are familiar because of, you are too familiar because you're objective. Oh yeah, because you right there. I mean, that's your family, so you would kind of know, you know, more so about the person. That's why I tell people all the time, like, especially if they're just now first getting into astrology and they're trying to read astrology, like, it's cool to read family members' charts and stuff like that, and it's even cool to read, you know, because that's how I first got it started off, reading like my people, family, whatever. And you know, I didn't really read too deeply into like celebrities and stuff like that, because you know their lives are kind of, not whole lives, but their lives are on display. But you got to read for people you do not know. That when you start to read for people you don't know, that I promise you it will take you to a completely different level. You can read for yourself because you know yourself and you can understand yourself. You can read for people you know because you know a little bit about them, so it helps you kind of scope like, oh, this is why this means this, or this is why you're going through this, or this is what this could mean for you. But when I started reading for people I did not know, my whole evolutionary journey came into play. That's when I was like, oh, okay, like, I'm like, actually, I'm pretty, you know, I was good at it before, but I was so much more confident in my reading abilities when I started reading for people I did not know at all. But yeah, Black Moon Lilith and Moon in the 7th house. 7th house having to do with like intimate connections, intimate relationships, contractual agreements, whether that's physical contractual agreements or spiritual contractual agreements, marriages, you know, business as well here too. So like, especially with Capricorn, this is gonna be like squeaky business deals. What is your house? What house is your natal Pluto? Oh, in the 9th house, and it's in Scorpio. Okay, it's in Scorpio and it's trining my moon in Cancer. So baby, I be knowing, okay? Anytime I've ever doubted my intuition, it's always proved me right. Do you read charts for people who don't know the birth time? Yes, I do actually. It's funny because Logical Mermaid was, I want to say Logical Mind so bad. Logical Mermaid was just talking about actually reading for people who don't know their birth time and stuff. But I do. And if they're interested in possibly knowing, like maybe what has resonated with their, chart, as far as like possible rising sign that they don't know their birth time, we can also go through that as well. Because honestly, if you kind of start to pull on people's life experiences, there's certain questions that you can ask to pull on people's life experience to see what rising sign, especially, for example, I'll throw this out here. Ask somebody what was going on during their Saturn return. All right. For example, from 27, by the time you like about 27, 28, all the way to like 30, 31, 30, 31, on the cusp of that energy here. Ask them what was going on during their life during their Saturn return. All right. And if they can tell you in detail, oh, like, for example, I'll know somebody that's like, yeah, you know, that time, during that time, I got a separation and a divorce. And I know one could say, well, maybe we can look to Venus and see what was going on with the Venus, da 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 da. But I can easily, maybe potentially look at somebody's 7th house and say, okay, you were going through a divorce at this time. What was happening with the planets at this particular time? You were going through your Saturn return. And I can make those different, I can kind of concoct those connections. Also, too, gauging people's personality. You know, your rising sign is like the first thing that people see when they meet you. Now, for example, for me, a lot of people guess all types of different rising signs when they first meet me. Like, I've gotten all all things under the sun. I think the only thing I've never gotten was like Taurus rising. Honestly, believe it or not, people don't guess that I'm a Pisces rising. It's so interesting. I'm trying to think of anything else. Cancer rising, I've never gotten Cancer rising. Yeah, I've never, those are like the main ones that I've never gotten before. But if you kind of gauge somebody's like, you know, personality, like there's just certain key things that you can do to like really try to like chart somebody's like chart. But that's just a prime example here too. Yeah. Well, speaking of Pluto, actually, as we're talking about Pluto, I was kind of talking about it and then I kind of jumped off of it. But you said you would say Sag. Yeah, I've gotten Sag rising a lot. I've gotten Aries rising as well too. But Aries rising literally takes up most of my first house if I do Placidus anyway. It's that Jupiter. What do you say? Welcome you to super duper Jupiter love. No Trey songs. Listen, I'm not. When I think of Jupiter rising, that's what I think of. Welcome you to super duper Jupiter love. You know what? Actually, what chart is that? There is a once upon a time chart that I actually do have that I am a Sagittarius rising. It's the, let me see. It's called, oh, I can't think of the name. I think it starts with a, is it honorary astrology? I don't know if it's honorary. No, not honorary astrology. I forget what chart it is, but I have had like I do have a chart where I am actually a Sag rising, for real. And if you're seeing that, I mean I'm working in my North Node too. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a North Node in Sagittarius. I'm a North Node in Sagittarius and also MC in Sagittarius as well too. Honorary astrology, honorary astrology. Honestly, what'd she say? Honestly, I'm trying to stay focused. Oh, that's what I'm talking. God dang it, my Gemini be Gemini sometimes. Okay. Pluto, I don't know what Pluto or where y'all's Pluto is. If you're a Pluto Scorpio generation, stand up. No ludicrous, okay? Because we are going to be going through a transition, okay? And when I say this, I mean we will be triggered during this time, especially as Black Moon Lilith is going through Scorpio. If you have a natal Pluto in Scorpio, okay, we will be the ones that are going to be called to the front. If you are a Saturn in Aquarius, okay, you will be called to the front. And why I say this is because eventually when Lilith meets up with, when Black Moon Lilith meets up with Saturn in Aquarius, all right, second, let's go. Okay, exactly. When it meets up with Black Moon or Lilith in Scorpio meets up with Pluto in Aquarius, is going to create what we call a square. If you don't know what a square is, okay, it's like two in a ring, all right? Now, I'll say this. Squares can be a couple of different things. You know, squares can be something that creates some type of tension. And, you know, at first I didn't really like squares. I'm not going to lie to you. When I first started astrology, I hated squares because I'm like, well, I got... You know, I'm square city in my chart. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of squares. I got a lot of conflictual, contrasting kind of energies going on in my chart. And I was like, man. But squares can create challenges. And one thing I've learned about myself is I appreciate a challenge. I welcome a challenge. You feel me? So with that being said, with the square that's happening between this Pluto in Aquarius, and then Black Moon Lilith, you know, squaring over to that energy, we will feel a deep-seated need to transform. I'm pretty sure y'all have already been feeling that as we are moving through these transits now. Like the person that you used to be, you're not necessarily that person anymore, you know? So you on a different type of trajectory. You know, you want to change, you want to do things differently now. You just feel that energy of like stepping into something new, this rebirth, stepping into something different. The ways in which you view the world, the ways in which you see the world is going to be completely different after we're done with this transit. I'm telling you that right now. And I'm not just talking about like the outwardly things that are going on, but I'm talking about like what's happening for you internally at this time. All right? You will be triggered in whatever way, shape, or form that comes in. It's bound to happen. You know what I mean? So just know, okay? Just know that it's time. That it's your time to shine, okay? Yeah. So yeah, damn, I've already been on here for an hour. I was just talking about that today. Well, I was about to post on TikTok. I'm like, bro, is time going flying by fast, or is it just me? Is it just me? Is it just me? Because every time I look up, this time is going crazy. Okay? Time is going crazy. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Okay, y'all. I think I'm about to wrap this up. I am about to get some food. I might come on a little bit later because I still want to do some talking. But I'm hungry as okay? And I need some food. All right, so I am going to get me some grub. And I'll either be on a little bit later or, I mean, what's today? I be feeling like I've been forgetting my days. Forgetting my days, y'all. Is she an old lady now? I think I'm gonna get turned to an old lady. I'm like, wait, what day is it? I don't know what day of the week it is. Anyway, if I don't come back tonight, and if I don't come back tomorrow, I do like Thursdays. I've been coming on daily because I'm like, I like to see what days everybody's coming on. I've been doing Tuesdays, but I don't know. It's something about me and Thirsty Thursdays that I just cannot get enough of, y'all. Like, I used to do everything on Thursdays. And it's Jupiter Day as well, too. But I used to call it Thirsty Thursdays. And it's, for some reason, it used to just do something for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it used to do something for me. You know what I'm saying? Feel me? So, yeah. Okay. If I don't come on here, I'll probably be going live on TikTok. If y'all have TikTok, my username is the same. I've been trying to get back on TikTok. I don't know. I'm a yapper, y'all. Like I'm a full-time yapper. I like to talk for long periods of time, you know, and TikTok sometimes feels like I'm like I have to condense everything into like 60 seconds. And I know you like some people like, oh, well, you could go over, you know, 60 seconds if you want to. It's like a 10-minute thing on there, but like I don't even think that's enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to like figure out how to do like minute drops and getting the whole point across on TikTok. So I probably will go live on TikTok later tonight. But I have to get some grub first, okay? So I will see you guys later. Alright, and if you don't see me tomorrow on here, then you'll definitely see me sometime this weekend, okay? So lots of love and light. Sunny delight, alright? And I'll see y'all soon, alright? I already know what it is. It's Rainstorm checking in, Rainstorm checking out. Without a doubt. Deuces.